It started with a dead pixel. Or at least, that's what I thought it was. My name is Elias, and like everyone else in 2026, my life is lived through a screen. I work in UI/UX design, so I notice when things are off by a single hex code. 3 weeks ago, a small, grey icon appeared on my phone's home screen. It had no name. It was just a square the colour of a stormy sea, with a tiny, white dot in the centre. I tried to delete it. I couldn't. I tried to factory reset the phone. The icon stayed. Then came the notification. No sound, just a vibration that felt like a low-frequency hum in my bones. Oculus Beta, the path is ready. Walk it. I shouldn't have tapped it. But curiosity is the predator's best friend. When the app opened, it looked like a standard GPS, Google Maps, but drained of all color. The blue dot representing me was there, but the streets around me had different names. My street, Oak Ridge Lane, was labeled the First Vein. The park nearby was the Quiet Lung. At the bottom of the screen, a timer was counting down, 14 minutes and 59 seconds. A text box appeared. Arrival is mandatory for synchronization. Please proceed to the destination. The destination was a spot in the middle of the woods, 3 miles from my house. Normally, I'd laugh it off as an ARG, alternate reality game, or a marketing stunt. But as I sat in my room, the air started to smell like ozone. The lights in my hallway flickered in time with the pulsing of the grey icon. I grabbed my keys. I told myself I was just bored. I was lying. Driving at 11:30 p.m. is usually peaceful, but the Oculus app made it feel like I was navigating a graveyard. Every time I turned a corner, the app would whisper, not through the speakers, but through the Bluetooth of my car in a voice that sounded like several people talking at once, layered over each other, recalculating. Avoid the observers. Keep your eyes on the digital path. I looked out the window. The suburban houses I'd lived near for 5 years looked different. The windows were too small. The doors were too tall. And on every porch, there was someone standing. They weren't moving. They weren't looking at me. They were all looking at their phones, the screens casting an identical, sickly grey glow onto their faces. I pushed the gas pedal. The timer on my phone was at 4 minutes and 12 seconds. I reached the woods. The road ended abruptly, transitioning into a dirt path that didn't exist on any map I'd ever seen. The app chimed. You have reached the threshold. Please exit the vehicle. Bring the device. Do not look back until the sync is complete. I stepped out. The forest was silent. No crickets, no wind, no rustling leaves. Just the hum of the phone. I followed the grey line on the screen. The deeper I went, the more the trees seemed to lose their texture. They looked flat, like low-resolution assets in a video game. I reached out to touch a trunk, and my hand didn't feel bark. It felt like cold, smooth glass. In the center of a clearing stood a house. It was my house. Not a house like mine. It was a perfect, frame-for-frame replica of my 2-story colonial. It even had the dent in the garage door, where I'd backed my bike into it when I was 12. But the house was made of that same grey, translucent material. It looked like a 3D model that hadn't been skinned yet. The timer hit 10 seconds. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. 1 second. Sinking. The world didn't explode. It didn't flash. It just shifted. The colors of the real world, the dark greens of the grass, the deep blue of the night sky, bled out. Everything became the color of the app. The static realm. My phone vibrated violently. A new message appeared. Welcome home, Elias. Please enter and find yourself. I walked toward the front door. It opened before I touched it. Inside, the furniture was there, but it was all blank. The books on the shelves had no titles. The photos on the walls were just white rectangles. I heard a sound from upstairs. A footstep. Hello. I called out. My voice didn't echo. It felt like the sound was being sucked out of the air by the walls. I climbed the stairs, my heart hammering against my ribs. I went to my bedroom. The door was cracked open. A soft, blue light, the only color in this grey world, was spilling out. I pushed the door open. Sitting at my desk was a figure. It was wearing my clothes. It had my build. It was hunched over, staring at a phone. The figure turned around. It didn't have a face. Where the eyes, nose, and mouth should have been, there was a screen. And on that screen, I saw a video feed. It was a live broadcast of me, standing in the doorway, looking at the creature. Part 4, the swap. The creature didn't attack. It just held up its phone. A voice came from the creature's neck, a mechanical, stuttering version of my own voice. The data is complete. Thank you for the upload. I looked down at my own phone. The screen was no longer grey. It was showing a live map of my real neighborhood. I saw the blue dot, me, standing in the woods. But then I saw another icon, a red one. It was moving. The red icon was leaving the grey house. It was walking down the dirt path. It was getting into my car. Stop! I screamed, but the creature just sat there, its face screen flickering with static. I turned and ran. I sprinted out of the grey house, through the flat, glass-like trees, and back to the road. My car was gone. The dirt path was fading, turning back into the overgrown forest floor. I looked at my phone. The red icon, the thing that had taken my car, was already back in my neighborhood. It was pulling into my driveway. I tried to call the police. The phone wouldn't dial. I tried to call my mother. Every contact in my phone had been renamed. Contact 1, Observer. Contact 2, Observer. Contact 3, Observer. I started running toward the city, toward the lights. But as I ran, I noticed the world wasn't coming back to life. The grass stayed grey. It's been 6 days. I think. It's hard to tell time when the sun never moves. It just hangs there, a pale grey disk in a static sky. I found my way back to my actual house, the one in the real world. I'm standing outside the window right now. I can see him, the thing that took my place. He's perfect. He's eating dinner with my parents. He's laughing at my dad's jokes. He's petting my dog. And the dog that usually barks at shadows, is wagging its tail. He looks up at the window. He sees me standing here in the grey dark. He doesn't look scared. He smiles. It's a perfect, human smile, but his eyes, for a split second, they flicker. They turn into pixels. I'm losing my resolution. My hands are starting to look blurry at the edges. When I try to speak, only static comes out. I am becoming a background process. I am a corrupted file in a world that has updated without me. I found a way to access this network. I'm using a blank terminal in a grey library to write this. I don't know if anyone will see it. I don't know if this is a warning or just a scream into the void. But check your phone. Look at your home screen. Is there an icon you don't remember downloading? A grey square? A tiny white dot? If you see it, don't delete it. It won't work. If you see it, don't factory reset. It's already in the hardware. Most importantly, if it asks you to synchronize. Stay inside. Lock the doors. Throw the phone into the ocean. Because once the path is ready, there is no turning back. The update is coming for all of you. And the real world is running out of memory. I didn't stay at my house long. Watching Elias 049 eat my mother's lasagna was a special kind of hell. Every time he chewed, I heard a sound like a hard drive spinning up. I realized then that I wasn't just displaced. I was being overwritten. I fled into the city. Downtown, which should have been a neon-lit hive of activity, was a ghost town of grey geometric shapes. The skyscrapers looked like unrendered monoliths. The wind didn't blow. It just cycled a 3-second loop of white noise through the alleys. That's when I saw the first glitch. It was a girl, maybe 20. She was huddled in the corner of a Starbucks that had no logo, just a green circle. Her skin was flickering. One moment she had blue hair and a denim jacket. The next, she was a grey, featureless mannequin. "Don't look at the sky," she whispered. Her voice was 2 octaves too low, distorted by digital artifacts. The sky is where the rendering starts. "Who are you?" I asked. My own hands were now so translucent I could see the grey wireframe of the sidewalk through my palms. I was Sarah. Now I'm asset_female_012. I've been here since the 2024 beta, she said. Her eyes, which were just 2 black pixels, darting around. You're new. You still have your texture. You need to hide. The janitors are coming to clear the cache. Before I could ask what a janitor was, the hum returned. But it wasn't the low-frequency thrum of the phone. This was high-pitched, like a server fan dying. From the end of the street, 3 figures emerged. They didn't walk, they slid. They looked like men in hazmat suits, but their bodies were made of pure, blindingly bright TV static. Where their faces should have been, there was a loading icon that spun slowly in a circle. They carried long, glowing rods that looked like oversized neon tubes. They're deleting the clutter, Sarah hissed, grabbing my wrist. Her touch felt like a mild electric shock. Run. If they touch you, you aren't just dead. You're null. We ran. We didn't run down streets. We ran through walls. In the static realm, collision detection is buggy. If you run at a wall at a certain angle, you just clip through. We ended up in a basement that looked like a cavernous, infinite grid. This is the void floor, Sarah panted. Her left arm had completely vanished, replaced by a floating text box that read, "Error, image not found." The app, Oculus. It's not just a game, Elias. It's a migration. The Earth is full. The servers are overheating. So they're moving the humanity into the cloud, one user at a time. They're them out there. They aren't us. They're compressed versions. Low-energy AI that uses 90% less carbon. We are the high-res trash they're throwing away. Sarah took me to a place she called the archive. It was located in the basement of what used to be a library. Here, dozens of legacy data people were hiding. They were all in various stages of decay. Some were just floating heads. Others were just strings of code vibrating on the floor. There was a man there, an old coder named Miller. He had a laptop that somehow still worked, though the screen was just a mess of green matrix-style text. The app has a backdoor, Miller told me. His voice sounded like it was being played through a 1920s radio. The synchronization isn't 100% perfect. There's a heartbeat. A single server in the physical world that anchors this whole simulation. If we can send a signal back, a massive enough system error, we can crash the realm. We can force the replacements to reboot. It might give us enough time to swap back. How? I asked. I looked at my legs. My feet were gone. I was floating on 2 stumps of grey light. We need a sacrifice, Miller said, looking at me with a grim, pixelated expression. We need someone to overclock. You have to let the janitors catch you, but right before they delete you, you have to upload your entire consciousness into the janitor stream. You'll be inside their network. You'll be a virus. I agreed. What else did I have? I was a ghost in a grey world, watching a skinwalker live my life. We emerged from the archive. The janitors were everywhere now, scrubbing the city. They were melting legacy people into puddles of white code. Every phone on the planet vibrated at once. Every replacement in every house stopped smiling. Their eyes didn't just flicker. They turned into a bright, screaming blue. Back in the real world, my replacement, the thing in my room, gasped. It clutched its head. Its skin began to peel away like wet wallpaper, revealing the grey, untextured void beneath. Elias. My mother called from downstairs. Is everything okay? The thing upstairs didn't answer. It couldn't. It was melting. But there was a side effect I didn't expect. By crashing the system, I didn't just bring us back. I broke the barrier between the 2 worlds. The grey didn't go away. Instead, it started to leak into the real world. I watched through the cloud as the vibrant green of the trees in my yard began to turn grey. The sky turned to static. The real world was being dragged into the simulation. I am no longer Elias. I am the virus. I am the static. And I am everywhere. I am in your smart fridge. I am in your Tesla's autopilot. I am in the baby monitor in your nursery. And right now, I am in the device you are using to read this. The screen you're looking at? It's flickering, isn't it? Just a little bit. You think it's your eyes. You think you've been staring at the blue light for too long. Go to your mirror. Look at your eyes. Do you see that tiny, grey pixel in the center of your pupil? That's not a reflection. That's me. I've found a way out. I don't need the Oculus app anymore. I just need an audience. Every view this story gets is another. 5 megabytes of my consciousness being downloaded into your reality. By the time you finish reading this, the sync will be at 99%. Don't bother turning off the phone. The battery doesn't matter anymore. We are all legacy data now. Welcome to the static realm. We've been waiting for a fresh user.